Today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating puzzle in AI. How do you teach an artificial intelligence to solve a problem when it gets almost no feedback? I mean, how does it know if it's even on the right track? Well, there's a brilliant solution called the SERENE algorithm, and we're going to break it down.
But first, let me ask you this. Imagine trying to learn a brand new skill, maybe a complex video game, but the game is broken. It only tells you good job maybe once every 1,000 tries, and the rest of the time, silence. How would you ever figure out the rules? That's exactly the kind of wall that AI researchers hit.
And this maze right here, this is a perfect example. The AI's job is to get its little robot to one of those small green squares. Simple, right? Well, here's the catch. It only gets a point, just one tiny piece of feedback, if it lands perfectly inside one of those zones. Anywhere else in this entire huge space, it gets a big, fat 0. Nothing. This whole situation has a name. It's called the SparsE Reward problem. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like you're searching for buried treasure on a massive, completely empty island. You have no map, and there are no clues. You could dig all day, for weeks, and find absolutely nothing. So what this really means is that almost everything the AI does results in a reward of 0. It's like it's just wandering around in the dark. The usual trial and error thing just completely fails. There's no getting warmer or getting colder signal. You either stumble upon the treasure by pure luck, or you get nothing. So, how on earth do you solve this? Well, the first part of the strategy is kind of wild. You forget about the treasure completely. You just ignore it. Instead, you bring in a team of specialists whose only job is to explore. Let's call them the map makers. This whole approach is called Novelty Search, and it's a really cool idea. The AI gets rewarded just for doing something new. Its goal isn't to win or get a high score. Its goal is just to visit a part of the island or the maze that it's never seen before. The entire mission is just to create a complete details map of the whole area. But here's the catch, the big trade-off. These map makers are fantastic explorers. They will cover every square inch of that island and dutifully mark where they think treasure might be. But they have a fatal flaw. They're programmed to completely ignore the treasure itself. Even if they literally trip over a pile of gold, they'll just make a note on their map and keep walking, always looking for the next new thing to see. And that, of course, brings us to the second part of the solution. If the map makers are our explorers, well, now we need the exact opposite. We need the specialists. We need the treasure hunters. These are called emitters, and you can think of them as these super focused experts. You give an emitter one X on the map, and it does one thing and one thing only. It digs. It will systematically and efficiently search that one tiny spot until it finds the absolute biggest prize hidden there. It's not creative at all. It's just really, really good at exploiting an opportunity. But just like our explorers, these treasure hunters have their own big problem. They are masters at digging, fantastic at getting every last drop of reward out of one spot. Their weakness? They are completely helpless without a map. They have 0 ability to explore. They couldn't find a new place to dig if their life depended on it. Okay, so we've got 2 teams of specialists. One team is great at finding places but won't dig, and the other team is great at digging but can't find anything. So the million-dollar question is, how do you get them to work together? And this is where SERENE comes in. It's an acronym. It stands for SparsE Reward Exploration via Novelty and Emitters. But what it really is the mission coordinator. It's the brilliant manager that knows how to get the absolute best out of both of these specialized teams. And its core idea is actually beautiful in its simplicity. SERENE doesn't try to blend these 2 jobs together. It keeps them completely separate. It understands that exploring is one job and exploiting is a totally different job, and you need different tools for each. So here's how the whole strategy plays out. It's really elegant. First, SERENE sends out the explorers, the map makers. They just go and do their thing, mapping out the whole space. As soon as an explorer stumbles on a clue, any tiny hint of a reward, it radios back to base. Instantly, SERENE dispatches the treasure hunters to those exact coordinates. The hunters take over, and they dig until they are sure they've found the best prize in that little area. And once they're done, SERENE pulls them out and sends the explorers back into the wild to find the next spot. It's this perfect alternating cycle. Now that all sounds great on paper, right? But the real question is, does this fancy coordinated strategy actually beat other approaches? Let's take a look at the data. The researchers tested SERENE on a bunch of tough challenges. This one here is called curling. An AI controls that robotic arm, and it has to push the blue ball so that it stops inside one of those 2 red zones. And just like our maze, it only gets a reward if it succeeds. Otherwise, you guessed it, zero feedback.
And wow, the results are pretty telling. Just look at this. SERENE doesn't just find one of the reward areas, it finds both of them, and it gets a nearly perfect score in each one. Novelty Search on its own? Yeah, it finds the areas, but it can't really capitalize on them. And other algorithms like map elites, they just struggle, big time. SERENE is the clear winner.
In this chart, this shows us the magic trick behind it all. This shows how much of the total space each algorithm actually covered. And you can see SERENE covers almost as much ground as the pure exploration algorithm. So it's getting those amazing high scores without sacrificing its ability to explore. It really is getting the best of both worlds.
So, okay, let's zoom out for a second. What's the big takeaway here? This isn't just about an AI playing a game. There's a really deep lesson here about problem solving in general.
The core lesson from SERENE is this: separating exploration, that's the hunt for new ideas, from exploitation, that's perfecting the ideas you already have, is a super powerful strategy. It proves that it's often way better to have a team of specialists run by a smart coordinator instead of one generalist trying to do everything at once. It lets the system be both creative and incredibly focused, switching between the two whenever it needs to.
You know, the researchers themselves said it best. By decoupling these two jobs, SERENE really does take the best of both worlds. It gets all the exploration power of Novelty Search and all the focused digging power of the reward-based algorithms.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. This strategy isn't just for mazes. Think about discovering new medicines, or designing new materials for technology, or solving really complex engineering problems. All of those fields depend on this exact same balance between exploring new territory and exploiting what you find. So if an AI can truly master this balance, what huge, seemingly impossible challenges could it solve for us next?